Hello everyone, I'm Daniel from Line Taiwan engineering team. As a mobile app developer, it's very common to implement features related to UI components. Here it's a generic feature development process. Every time a new idea or feature is defined by planners, UI designers, they will start to provide UI design, UX flow, and all the necessary assets. And then we developers will start to create necessary data models, business logic, and of course, UI components, including layout XMLs or some custom views. Once the feature is released, after a while, maybe users will give us some feedbacks, or we will find some UI issues that we want to improve. So we will go back to the design stage. And then designers, they will try to improve the design by themselves, or sometimes they need developers' efforts as well. During this iteration, we meet some problems. As you can see, most of the prototype tools, you can create prototypes very fast, but it has some limitations. For example, you can only click on the blue area to go to the right screen, and for right screen, you can only click on the home button to go back. It's predefined behavior. So if user wants to scroll the screen, or he wants to click some icons on the right side, it does not work. So it doesn't really feel like a real app. And what about we ask developers to modify the real app directly? For example, on the left side, it's a real today's service screen. It lists all the media list that user can subscribe to see more related articles. And if one day we found that this UI does not fit our needs, maybe user does not know what this media is, we want to provide more information and more descriptions so that user can know and ask user to subscribe to these providers. Or one day we found that all the users are already very familiar with these content providers. We can just use a grid view to show all the providers. They can easily subscribe with all the providers. But to do this in native app, it takes some efforts. You can see there are several steps necessary. At first, you have to create new XML layout for all the view holders, for all the view items. And then you have to create corresponding view holder for each item. And then you have to modify original adapter to use this view holder. Or you have to create new adapter because you don't want to mix your original code with these testing codes. Is there a better way to create your prototype that can fix these limitations? Yes, you can try Flutter. If you don't know Flutter yet, I list the URL here. You can try to see the documentation online. Basically, it's a new UI toolkit created by Google that helps you to create native apps on both Android and iOS platform quickly and easily. Let's see some example. As you can see the grid view I just mentioned, if we want to do this in Android, you know there are several steps. But in Flutter, you can see you only have to tell him that you want a grid view. And the item inside is actually only an image, and the data will be from network. You only have to write less than 10 lines of codes, and the UI is ready. What about list view? You might think that list view will be more complicated, but actually no. Less than 20 lines of codes, you can have the UI on the left side. You only have to tell him that you want a list view, and the item inside it is a card widget. That means it has shadow under the card. And inside the card widget, we put a list tile. And list tile is a Flutter built-in widget. It gives you a leading image and two text components. So It's easily to create a UI like that. With these two methods, if you want to change different UI designs to users to try, in your main screen, you only need to have a flag to decide you want to show the list or you want to show the grid. You don't have to mix a lot of different files anymore. What if your UI is more complicated than those two I just mentioned? Still, you can create your own widget and switch to your own widget by the same way. And since Flutter is helping you to create native app, so of course you can fetch real data as well. In Flutter, you can use package HTTP or another package called DIL to get the data easily. Here's a simple example we use in our prototype. So let's see some example we used in today's service. This is the main screen of today's service. You can see that there is a search box on the top. If the user clicks on it, you will see there are several popular keywords that user can click directly. What if user doesn't like those keywords? Then they will just skip the screen. So since we already have the search API, maybe we can provide different interactions for users. For example, we can give them a list that user can edit what keywords he's really interested. And then we can easily create a page view style search results. So user can just see those search results without keying all the keywords again. Another example is about the category tab. It's very common for news service to show their contents with different categories. In current Taiwan Today service, we have more than 20 categories. But the space is too small. So for most users, they don't know how many tabs there are and is there any tabs they are interested. So only the first 2 or 3 categories are having the high page views. But for the rest, the page view percentage is not very high. So we try to solve this. For example, we can try several different ways. We may think that user doesn't click other categories is because the category bar is too high. So we can try to create a floating button below. When user clicks on the floating button, we can pop up the same category list on the right-hand side. So if user is handling his phone with one hand, he can change the category easily as well. And we also try another UI style. As I said, the tab area, it's hard to show a lot of categories. So what if we put the category bar to the right side? Then user can see more categories. And as I just said, user can handle the category switch with one hand. That may help user to change categories more often. With Flutter, it's easy to do this different UI change experiment. So if you're a mobile app developer, I hope you can try to use Flutter as well. You won't regret. Thank you very much.